Queen's Park Rangers, what has happened to you? From a Premier League team back in 2014-15 to sitting 10 games into the championship season, bottom of the table with only one win. And that isn't good enough, so Marti Cifuentes has to get it right as he stays in charge of the R's, as he's gonna try and get them firing all the way back up to the Premier League and beyond to the Champions League. As yes people, here we are with the QPR rebuild, and I'm very excited because I class these as a good team. Always liked QPR, and this is the current squad. You can see I've got a player injured because we have added injuries. A feature now doable, so Colback's out for a week, Morrison's out for a week, and Clark Salter a month. It was added in the latest update, and I feel that's a good thing, so I'm going to look on websites, see what the injuries are saying, but of course if they're not accurate, I apologise for that, and we're not actually selling the players, so they are still here. But they might not be here for long, as our first objective today is our first 3 signings have to be under 23. De-aging this team is a big thing I want to do, as they did sell Eze Young and they just sold Sinclair Armstrong, who did have a little bit of potential, as we've got to max out ours by winning 3 trophies here in the English leagues, and then move on to bigger and better, winning that UCL title, as also look out for a mystery locked objective later. As when I talked about age of this team, look at most of our players, like Colback's 34, we've got Cook 33, our starting keepers 30, and then a few of our starters are 29, our attacking players 29 in Anderson and Frey. Not very good, and speaking of attacking, for me, QPR, I think we need to go more attacking with them. So for tactics, I'm going gegenpressing. I'm not going to push the defensive approach up, but I'm going to change that shape as I'm not liking that formation. I'm going a bit rogue here. A 4-5-1 attack with 2 cams in this team because I want to get them playing some nice attacking, thriving football, as also I want this man, Dembele, in a cam position. Only on loan, but I believe in real life this man, I may be wrong here, but made his Celtic debut at like 13 or 14. Very decent, but this guy, Lucas Anderson's decent in real life, but I'm afraid our first signing, I think, is going to replace this man. And I know exactly who I have in mind, but does the budget allow it? No, because 5 million's not enough. We've definitely got to sell some players here. But the only 2 I want to sell are old players anyway, so probably won't sell for much, but it's Colback and Morgan Fox. Then a bunch of loan listed, as we do have our academy. We're going to check in England for one of them gems again, as I keep saying his name, but we need to grow the next Eze. Or could we actually sign him? Because the first signing I had in mind was this man, who I think is slightly above our pay grade. Carney Chukwuemeka just reminds me of an Eze player, but not, of course, to the standard of Eze, but could grow past it. The only issue is his wage and the fact we can only just afford him, as I tried to swap Anderson, but still Chelsea accepting 3.3 million plus an 18% sell-on clause. And that's alright for me, it's just his wage that worries me. 43,500. That's going to be difficult to compete with, as he wants to have a think about it. That's not the best thing. Means he'll probably come back and just bloody ask for more anyway, so we need to sell this player, Morgan Fox. Get out of our club. As here we go, he sold, and he sold actually rather quickly, allowing us to get Chukwuemeka through the door. A brilliant signing to get, as it was part of Chelsea's money laundering when they pay loads for a youth player, as we've paid loads for his bloody contract. Leaving us not much at all, and we've got to pay current contracts as well, so that's actually a bit worrying. Maybe we need to sell another player. The only issue is nobody wants to sign any of our first teamers. Okay, this is going to be difficult, as I have transfer listed more players, but there's nothing we can really do apart from just grow what we have, I guess, as Karamoko Dembele now progress to a cam. As speaking of progression, if you could smash a like on this video, we always aim for 1k likes, and we've been hitting it quite regularly. And also subscribe to the channel. We are on a race for 50k subscribers before January 1st. A huge aspiration, as that's what we have for this team right here, as I've just put Clark Salter in, and that looks championship worthy. And no, I didn't forget about our academy. The truth is, after signing up those contracts, we didn't have much money to buy players or pay them a bloody contract, because youth players have high contracts, as Dennis is the only one we really found who's decent. And he's gone and got promoted and already got the number 9 shirt, as our other number 9s, they're decent ratings for the championship, you know. And this is our team on paper. Oh my days, Madsen in the midfield. This is looking decent, especially for season 1. Rating wise, it's Madsen, of course, who leads the way. Never heard of him, but he looks a very decent player. Danish, 25-year-old. As I aren't forgetting, we only made 1 signing this year, so our next 2 signings still have to be under 23. As our top scorer wasn't too great, it was Elias Chair. Our left mid with 11, and even Madsen had to score 10. So our strikers, despite good ratings, didn't score many goals, and it was a relegation battle, surviving by 5 points. That is a little bit dodgy, but at least it should have got rid of some good teams like Leeds and Luton promoted. We won't have to face them next year. And the FA Cup won by Wolverhampton Wanderers, as we made it to the 3rd round against Ipswich and got beat. Then 3rd round of the Carabao, hammered by Arsenal, who did win the competition. Not embarrassing overall. And our playoff team's right there. And yeah, it's not going to be a trophy season 1. It's a little bit of a cooking one because we only made 1 signing. And that has to be one of the quickest season number 1s we've ever done in a rebuild. It's £5 million again. I'd say that's really good, but of course we have just lost Karamoko Dembele. He's gone back from his loan. And we do have a 30-year-old Anderson. Not great, but a lot of loanee players back, including Varane, who I loaned out. A 23-year-old midfielder. Lakeche looks okay. I mean, he could probably do with another loan. And Richards, 24. Could he be the Dembele replacement? We'll have to wait and see, as he might get his chance, because transfer listed is Lucas Anderson. He's 30-year-old after all. And this man, Koki Saito, has actually put himself on the transfer list, but I'm not going to sell him because he looks a great player. Just want to sell the players that we had transfer listed right there as we go into England again, because I'm still looking for that new Eze. Although we signed Chukwuemeka, as I am selling a midfielder here, Sam Field, who is a good one, but just doesn't fit in our formation. So almost 3 million profited on that man. And 2 million profited on also Michael Frey. Stepping us to 9 million, and that should be enough for at least 223 players. They shouldn't be that expensive. As one player on the border playing across the border in the Netherlands is Troy Parrott, the youngster, who's on the border of 23. And that just counts for me, and I think he'll be here long term, so when we sign in these younger players, I'm going to try cheaper with sell-on clauses. As that works to perfection, we've signed Alkmaar's rising star, who will sit on the bench maybe just for his first stint. As I am trusting this shape, I know it's weird, I know it's out there, but I honestly think if we keep with it, we can make this a good thing for us long term, as we are loaning out some players, but I really want Anderson to sell because I want to buy another Cam, who might be a little bit pricey, as there goes Anderson, 1.6 million. Goodbye, thanks for the memories. And the reason we needed that money is because the player that I wanted has definitely gone up in value, Karamoko Dembele, but it looks like he's in his final year of deal with the evaluation lower, as I'll try my tactic again, lower sum with a bigger sell-on clause. Oh, but they aren't having it. 7.5 million. At least we could negotiate, as we got them down to 6.8 million and just afforded him in. So we have Dembele back again. And with that signing, our first team looks amazing, but when you go down to the bench, we don't have many defenders here. And the idiot I am has still been scouting midfielders, and the midfielder we got was not good in Oscar Lane. 5'2", and he's not going to be any use at all, but at least we have Bruce as a defender gaining a promotion. As there he is, he's been sat on our bloody bench all season, as I don't just want him promoted, I want this team overall to be. As we have an 80 rated in Maddison, growing amazingly, and good cams, good wingers, good striker, good feeling. After all, only 3 signings, and I just realised with Dembele, I wasn't even thinking straight, but he was 22 at the time. So that's our easy objective done. We've signed 3 players under 23 as Maddison top scorer again. A bit concerning, as it means our strikers have not cooked up enough goals, and we haven't cooked up a playoff push. 12th in the Championship. Yes, it is gradual improvement as Wolves in another FA Cup final, but we're not challenging promotion as we lost in the 3rd round. And even a first round loss in the Carabao Cup to Sunderland. That was won by Tottenham, as I haven't seen who's actually promoted. Right, this year rid of Leicester and Everton, which is a very good thing. The less big teams, the better our chances. That's 5 million again, and this year we actually improved. What do we have to do? QPR board, give us some money. Show some ambition, as I'm going to show ambition in our defence this season, because Dunn is 74 rated, and apart from that, everybody else is above 75 rated. If they were in Ultimate Team, they'd all have a gold card. And in the Championship, pretty rare, even rare to have an 80 rated, and now no Everton Leeds. Leicester, we should be going all. And plus we're free to sign anyone, as we've got so many strikers here. I know they're not scoring goals, but I'm keeping faith in Troy Parrott. Also Zancelar, who I believe actually played at the Euros and played very decently in the group stages for Slovenia. Or it might have been Slovakia. Sorry if I'm actually wrong right there, as I'm going to send a scout again to England, but sadly giving up on the Ebereche Eze dream, as I am going to look for a defensive-minded player for our formation who can play the ball from the back, as that is what we need. But we're not going to rely on the academy. Of course we're going to sign a player there. As for the time being, he might be lower rated than Jimmy Dunn is, but we do need more centre-backs and a left-footed in João Muniz. He's desperately needed, and we found him in the Pro League. So again, it's all our money because his wage, and we don't have much budget. As here he is, he's on a defensive drill, and that's got me actually thinking, do we just sell Jimmy Dunn and play this guy straight away? I know it's a downgrading rating, but I just feel like having him on the bench would be a waste of potential, and I don't want to do that with any player, including Varane, who's been out of position for ages, and now a centre mid could compete with Maddison. But let's be honest, would take a lot to actually displace him from the team, as a big bid for Saito, who did put himself on the transfer list. 24.4 million is enough for a few players, but call me absolutely crazy, I'm going to reject that offer. Just because I feel our team is literally good enough. And I keep looking at it. Even the bench as well. It is perfect. Just got to loan out. I speak of loan out, I never realised this guy as well. Ryan Colley, I did loan to Shanghai. 69 rated at only 21-year-old. Now, I would recall him back, but I am wary of our budgets this year. So as we loan players out, I'm just going to not make another signing. Yes, 4 signings only, and I know we aren't getting promoted. And feels like a waste of time, but I am not actually wasting time. I'm just trusting the lads we have. As Jimmy Dunn, no one wanted him, so he's been signed up, and in fact everybody is signed up. QPR is a project which is growing and growing, as hopefully it can grow just with the youth we've bought and grown its way into the Premier League, as joining in is Reece Hunt. At least we're getting some youth through now, and at least we are starting to cook. Look at the 80 ratings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 including the keeper, as I've counted the attackers. And on the bench, another attacker doing well. Troy Parrott, 77 rated. He should move to the team, although Selar is almost top scorer. 24 goals. We do have a striker scoring, and a team scoring points, as we still took 11 defeats. But hey, QPR promoted. We're going to the Premier League. Took 3 seasons to turn around, as where have we finished in the Cups? 3rd round of the FA Cup to Derby 4-2. And Tranmere make the final of the Carabao. That's weird. Look at that in the semis. They beat City 5-2. As we were out on penalties in the 1st round against Portsmouth, and this right here is where our challenge kicks in. Remember that locked objective? Yes, it's open, and it says we can only sign players that are relegated from the Premier League. So we're going to be doing a swap over, and I was hoping Crystal Palace got relegated. They finished top 4, of course, with our man Eze. Really jealous about him staying there. A couple of bad performances as Ipswich, Brentford and Leeds. Leeds are a team relegated. They should have decent players who we have to sign next year, as I don't think we need an attacker with all them goals scored. So into the Premier League in season number 4 now. We can only sign from 3 clubs and we've only signed 4 players. 46 million, a good sum of money to spend as well. Of course, on relegated players, it shouldn't be too much out the door. We can spend rather easily. Then again, the players we do have to sign have to be high rated to knock any of these out the club. Maybe a left back replacement though, firstly, because Pal, he is 30-year-old. And I don't see him lasting very long. So first of all to the Championship, and I'm going to check Brentford first. Even though they are a rival, how sweet would it be signing from them? Because they have some decent players, Brian Bobby, Carvalho, and their left back is Parisi, who looks very decent. And Ipswich with Asnu, he doesn't look any better. Ooh, but Garcia, he looks quite decent at Leeds. As we need a left back first, and we've got these to choose from. And although it's from a rival, I feel Parisi is the best choice. As have that one, Brentford. Yes, they did get more money out of us than I wanted to pay, but still a brilliant player here. But there he is, into the team. Brilliant at left back. And that's one position fixed up. How much money does that leave us with? 12 million, okay, and that's kind of good enough. It isn't where I want to be, but we can, of course, sell players, as our bench is very strong. I mean, could Pal actually go himself? Might as well sell him being 30, and plus we have Lakeche, as I want another right back, and I'm sorry to Heverton. But if we want to win 3 trophies, he is not the answer. But also one thing I realise, out of contract and 33, our goalkeeper, Paul Nardi, maybe we could cash in on him. Oh, wow. And Leeds. Look at Leeds United. They've got Elia Capil, another Italian we could bring in. Then Ilan Meslier, dropping stinkers in real life. But then Lee Pearce at 20 and Salah at 18. Maybe we just get this guy and then we build on him for next season. Keep our 33-year-old here and get this man in just to learn from it. But before we go ahead with that, we do have to sell some players. Ooh, but plans can change as Nardi has an offer in here. 19 million for a 33-year-old keeper. I'm kind of thinking screw it, as I also did sell Kenneth Pal. And out goes Nardi. Good money on an old player. As are we trusting a 74 rated in the Premier League? I guess we are at this moment, as Nicola becomes our number 1. Risky game, but he's young, like Muniz, like Parisi. Well, he's kind of young. The team overall is youngish. And we need to build young to win trophies, as now, on the bench, I'm kind of thinking a right back and kind of thinking a midfielder. The academy is on pause because we've only got 20 million. And with that 20 million, I want 2 £10 million signings. And when I look at Ipswich, I find the perfect 2 players. As this Burrows guy, versatile, midfield maestro, and Devlin a winger with the future heavily in mind, as we're building this team set for a future. As this team overall has been made with the future in mind. Every player bought, and even when we had to sign from them relegated team. Parisi's done pretty decent, 83 rated. Muniz, he was the season before, but 80. And Salah's up to a 79. Then on the bench, Burrows is a 79 himself. And this has me actually thinking, is he built to be a midfielder? Because before I've started speaking, I've checked his stats. He's almost Hullet gang. But 4 weeks to a right back, and he could be the piece of the puzzle that we're needing. Because come on, he is not beating our best player at the club, Nicholas Madsen, now 84 overall. Didn't expect growth from him, and same with Troy Parrott, but he's shot up in his rating, getting 14 goals altogether. Cher could be a player sold though, because he's actually 30 now. And with Devlin coming through, we could swap him to the left-hand side, or put Saito back on the left-hand side, as we do survive our first season. 15th in the Prem, I'll take that. Not comfortable, but we do survive and we thrive. I absolutely love saying that as we win the FA Cup over Brighton, beating City in the semis, Burnley in the quarters, and this does make up for a trophy we didn't get last year. Of course, second place in the championship is not the playoff title, but it's also not the championship title, so we kind of hit the wrong position. As we lost to Forest in the Carabao, second round, oh well, didn't go too good, but still, I'm gonna get over it. As one change that I did make as well, I didn't actually speak about it, but I set our approach to deep. Going to move that forward to balance now. Now we've survived a year, so I'm going to switch Chair and Saito. Then I'm going to bring in Devlin onto the wing. I think that looks better for the future. Now we can sell Chair, get a little bit of revenue into the club, and go all out on a brand spanking new centre-back. And for our second season in the Prem, that is honking. 31 million, plus we do have Europe. The board actually expect a semi-final of the Europa League. I've got to say, screw the board. High expectations, but no money. Make it make sense, as I've got to show you my transfer listed players. Two of them have put themselves on it, and I don't understand Madsen and Saito. They're not going anywhere. They need to crack down on playing football, but these three at the top, I'm willing to listen to offers for. And yes, I did have a voice crack, but do we need a right back this year? As Burrows to an 81, that's our right back slot sorted. Apologies to Heverton, but he can still stay on the bench for a bit longer. And also, Morrison, we just got this guy from loan. I knew he had some potential because I believe in real life, I might be wrong on the player, but wasn't he at Bayern? Bizarre, really, as our first offer, our proper offer, 16 million from United for Clark Salter. United wasting money yet again with a stupid sign-in. Not that he's a bad player, but do they actually need his quality? A same question to Liverpool. We're walking Elias Chair out the door, as they've paid almost 30 million for a 30-year-old. Now 71 million is a lot better in the Premier League to build a European squad as we chase that second trophy. And of course we do need a centre-back. That's the first position on the list, as there may be another right mid because Devlin's just not ready rating-wise. And plus on the bench, Smith, he's not good enough. So yes, centre-back and right midfield priorities. I need to get straight on that. So it would be stupid not to. We're going on the Eze search. Oh, but the scout just wants to avoid finding a cam. Should we just stop the search and go for the real thing? We do play two cams. Karamoko Dembele can move to the right-hand side, and plus he's 30-year-old, so he's cheaper and at Napoli. So now, in his twilight years, after having a stint in Italy, Eze is back where it started with Queen's Park Rangers, making it into the team as we've tried so long to bloody replace him. And Dembele on the right. Why does he not want to play there? A weird one, as also another weird one, is the fact that Seller has just gone on, guess what? A sell-on clause. They are so hard to avoid, as he's gone to Betis for 16 million. That's actually good money. So a centre-back and a backup striker. That is what we need, as when I signed Eze, it was from Napoli. And Napoli have a good backup in Giuseppe Ambrosino. Ambrosino, I don't know how it's actually pronounced. But for £5 million, a good bit of backup business. Love it when in Europe, and when we've signed the contracts up, 38 million, all going on a centre-back. As I've scanned the whole planet through the seas, through the land, to land on this player who's a very decent talent. Petit, and look at him, he's 83 rated now, and when he did sign for us, he was only 80 rated at 20. As the team all round looking good, we've got our goalkeeper progressing, our fullbacks doing well, but also Troy Parrott, 85 rated, and he was signed as a second choice in the championship, you know, replicating that real life form. For AZ in the Eredivisie, scoring a lot of goals for Alkmaar, but as you can see, he is second behind Eze, who is back with a bang, but not without a crash as well, because we have crashed down to just surviving against relegation. Saved by a few other teams as we don't win our second trophy. We're desperate for 3, And I might have counted the Community Shield. Do we back-to-back the FA Cup? No, it's actually Brighton over Coventry, you know. But Brighton were in the final last year. We were beaten by Palace, of course, Eze's ex-team. And beaten on penalties in the Carabao by Coventry. It's always bloody penalties as, hey, we got our luck in the Europa League, 7th in the table, above Spurs, who of course are an English team. Clueless how we did that bad in the league with all our good ratings, as where are we on this? We beat Marseille, squeezing through on penalties and beating rival Spurs, to then beat Borussia Dortmund 6-4 on aggregate. Made our way to the final, even though we finished 17th and won the Europa League 4-3 over Roma. That is another trophy, and that's 2 out of the 3 needed to unlock, of course, going for the very top of the Champions League. And I'm thinking next season, he's now 29, is Madsen, so maybe we start selling older players to build this team even younger. As it's not just about going young, it's about getting experience and good players, as we've just won the Europa League and only got 47 million. With contracts to sign as well, how do we improve this? We've got to sell to buy. I don't understand it. The board's been terrible with us, as we could do with a backup goalkeeper and also a backup cam, because Richards is only 73. We do have a very good first team. Defense is actually the weakest, but when you do look at the age of the players, 24 and then 21. And there's no real use of using the academy right now, because we've got youngsters who are already here, like Collie, who's now 24, and not growing at all, as a big bid in for Madsen. Are they trying to replace Højbjerg with basically another Højbjerg? Maybe so, but then we've got Petit. We've only had him a year, but 77.2 million for Madrid is too much to turn down. I'm gonna actually be greedy here and ask for a little bit more money, which is accepted, you know, by Ancelotti, 83.2. So we lose Madsen, thank you friend, for all the memories in the championship, and thank you to Petit for basically doubling your money. Only signed for 34 mil and sold for 83, as that is 168 to sign 2 key players with. Midfield and centre-back, which are actually kind of covered. We've got Varane at almost an 80 and Morrison almost at 80. And this is actually perfect, because we just sold Petit and I found a player just like him, but younger, Deliu, or Bjorn for short, 6'6". He's actually right-footed, so he can go onto the right side, which should cost maybe 40 mil, as it's out with the old in Petit and in with the new Deliu, and also win with the keeper, a backup keeper in Nilsson. As one player probably not getting played at PSG is Quinton Timber, 85 rated, but I do want to look around League On. And this is why, because Firmin's actually at Marseille, and we just beat Marseille, so it kind of is an upgrade for him. And plus, getting Firmin to Queen's Park Rangers would be extraordinary. 80 million, just bloody accept it. By far our best signing, and by far our most expensive one, as he completes the team and readies them for the Champions League. Or does he actually? Because we do need that cam I forgot about. João Rego, 24 from Benfica. Now we should be ready. We've got cover, we've got starters, as this team overall should be ready for the UCL. And I've simmed to the end of the season, and look at it. Look at it, the background has changed. Champions League colours. Am I actually being stupid here? No, I am not. Right, QPR in the final of the UCL this season. This is brilliant. We could win it, but we couldn't at the same time, because we do need to win a trophy. Fingers crossed we have done. As how was our journey to this? Look at that. Rangers above Rangers. Then we beat Villarreal 4-1. Juventus 3-2. Then we beat Bayern 4-3 in the away fixture. And Man City 5-0. 6-2 on aggregate. To make this final against Liverpool, which I honestly cannot fathom, but it does count for nothing if we don't go and win another trophy. Tactics have stayed the same, and this is the team we actually have, and it actually looks very decent. Didn't realise how good we were. Firmin we've just signed immediately gets to a 90 rating, but the best player in the team, 92 Salah. And I'm not talking about Mo Salah, Nicolas Salah, the goalkeeper. We looked out having signed him from Leeds, relegated, and we've actually been so good. Who's our top scorer this season? Troy Parrott's gone up again, 38 goals, fantastic. Eze with 88, as we won't be in the Champions League if we don't win it this year. And also, we could not finish the challenge, because that is a trophy down. And the Emirates FA Cup, we actually lost in the semis 4-3 to Manchester United, leaving only the Carabao, which is one in itself, 5-1 against City, so we will be playing in this final. We've hammered City each time, as we hammered Newcastle, beat Everton 1-0, and also beat Chelsea. The way we've done this is phenomenal. Is that actually our best team? Well, I am looking on the bench, and there's no one to call upon. And do we actually change with Liverpool in this finale? Maybe we go back to deep, and I know that's kind of controversial. And one thing I've actually done here, which I never usually do, is go against the playstyle pluses, making sure this team's kind of defensive. Making our fullbacks instead of letting them be wingbacks, and changing our cams to playmakers to offer some defensive support. As despite all our ratings, the 90s, the 88s, I still do not feel confident against Liverpool, as Eze, dribbling past a few players, it is Eberiche Eze, and that is gotta be a yellow card. Got away with one, Kasunu. As Eberiche Eze, back at his former team. Oh my days, that was close. That should have been 1-0 already. Very close still. We continue to dominate the proceedings as Saito from Season 1 on the ball. That's another free kick. Stupid tackle by Rice, as Eze needs to get this one right. It's over the wall, and what a save! That couldn't have been more perfect. Mamadashvili, as Eze dashes for the corner to try and take it towards Muniz. Saved again by the keeper. But what's happened here? Has Beck handballed it? I mean, it didn't look like it from that angle. Have we just been given a penalty for nothing? Seems we actually have. And Troy Parrott stands over it. Can he score? I know we don't deserve it, but there we go with the penalty. Shouldn't have got the penalty, I mean. Deserving it in terms of the game, yes, we definitely do. Dominated and got our goal. Get in there, lads. Great stuff. Now we just need to carry on. Chukwuemeka shrugs his man off. We could look for a second here. Saito, can he sight up a man? He's just dribbled into the box, you know, and that's a bit all over the place. It falls to Parrott again. And it should have been 2-0 as Eze stood over the corner. Please just handle it again, Beck. No, Kumas heads it away, falls to the edge of the box, and Saito takes the shot, which altogether was unlucky, but Ikenna, George Ikenna, tries to test Salah. He'll never be beating that man. Maybe famous last words, but come on, he didn't even get it on target, and that is their only chance. Referee, blow your whistle, please. Letting them have a chance, but he's gone backwards. What a bizarre decision. Half-time right here, and somehow we are still looking out, as we did in the first half, as Deliu into Burrows. I haven't seen much of this guy, and his rating's grown rapidly as Karamoko's a bit rapid. Can he cut inside, go for the finesse? That was a trip from Rice, who is already on a yellow card. There's only 10 minutes to go. We've done a good job in changing our tactics. No passes like that, Chukwuemeka. Now we're under pressure a little bit. Ikenna to run at us, and Salah with the save. Is that his first save he's made? Maybe so, but come on, be better. Kumas on a turn. He's been good, the Welshman for Liverpool. Offering a little bit of an outlet as Muniz had to time it right. Firmin's been man of the match, but he still has to get across to Dembele. Felt my heart stop then. I literally thought it was in the back of the net, and a catch from Salah as Eze's gone down injured, but still, just stay down, my friend. We'll just try and whack this ball forward. That did not get enough distance. And that is not the end of the game. And they somehow get the drop ball, but it's straight to the goalkeeper. And there's the final whistle in the game, which means Quick Sparks Rangers, or I can't even speak straight, QPR, let's call them, have just gone and scraped it throughout the Champions League and winning the finale. Results-wise, the worst team in the Championship this season. After 10 games gone, we've managed to reverse it. We've kept faith with the manager, and the man who was our first signing, Chukwuemeka, lifts it, That is a very good feeling. As if you want the same feeling for your club or any club, if you think it would be a good fit for them, comment them below and we'll try and win it with them.